So, just out of curiosity, I mean, what are some of your like favorite horror films, or just favorite films in general?
Well, there's the Bruce Springsteens, the Temple, Ivy, Dolphin.
Yeah, I got shirts for every one of them.
I don't.
Uh well, John Carpenter's The Thing. It's top of the list.
Yep.
I'm a huge Phantasm fan, mainly of the first film. I love that movie. Um,
Yeah, Todd, you should see the props that Jared made, the Phantasm stuff.
What did you make, Jared? Because Phantasm was my first horror movie that I ever saw. Like, even though I'd been watching, you watch horror movies on TV on the weekends on your local channels, and they edit everything out. But Phantasm was my very first horror movie that I ever saw that absolutely scared the living dog shit out of me.
On Jared's my indie page, there's actually a massive gallery of all the a lot of the diehard horror stuff he's made. So it might actually be there.
Yeah, the Phantasm stuff wasn't my stuff. I was actually the spheres. Those were made by Baker Props. Buddy of mine named Mike Baker, and he actually designs like metal fabs of spheres. And he's got the spikes and everything on them, and he tacks them from the inside with a welder, and it's pretty fantastic metal work. I don't do any kind of metal work like that.
But you built like stands for it or something?
Yeah, I definitely did like all the display work and the like marble mausoleum display for it. Make them look like they're all hovering.
Yeah, I'm personally not a huge Phantasm fan, but I remember when you sent me those, I was like, wow, that looks really cool.
Yeah, and I don't want to say that I love Evil Dead. So I'll get
You know the risk, man. You know the risk.
No, Fright Night is one of my favorite.
Fright Night, yep.
That's one of my favorite practical effect movies, other than like Bad Taste, and The Thing. I guess that really relies on my favorite films is how great the practical effects were in them, because every one of those movies are just absolutely mind bending especially at the time, but they hold up pretty doggone good today.
Yeah, my wife and I watched the Thing a few days ago, and we were both still kind of, after watching the abomination of the prequel, that you knew full well that they had done practical effects, and because the chicken shits that studio executives are and didn't tell anybody, they went back and covered everything up with fucking CGI, and we know what the mess was that became of that. But yeah, we were just like, still looks good. My favorite part is when the head of I can't even remember his name, Norris's head comes off and comes down the desk, and you're just looking at the mouth, and it's moving and everything, and you're looking going, fuck, man, that looked real back then. It still looks real, still looks real. Amazing.
I think the thing is the one film that Jared and I are in full agreement on.
Oh, I
see it. One of the few.
I see it as the number one horror film of all time for me. The other films we're less in agreement on. But the beautiful thing is, I see a lot of horror fans online, just arguing about, their favorite films. It's like name calling.
Oh, dude.
People unfriending, and I'm thinking, holy shit. I'm like, we became closer friends over our disagreements over films. It's like, who cares? That's why it's your favorite, because it's your taste.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on that shit.
Yeah. I mean, Jared and I, Jared, we have this like running joke about my dislike for the original Evil Dead movies. So yeah, I like the remake much better, the reboot or whatever it was. The 2013 one, I think, is a fantastic film.
And I actually put off watching that forever just because I didn't care that Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi were involved. I was like, dude, you don't fuck with the OG, period. I mean, that was another one of the movies that absolutely scared the dog shit out of me. I mean, it literally, I had, between that, Phantasm, and The Exorcist, I lost a lot of damn sleep because of those movies. And when Ty kept bugging me, he's like, you gotta watch the reboot. And then I come to find out, after doing a little homework, it's not even a reboot, it's a sequel, is how Raimi and Bruce Campbell discuss it. And so I finally watched it, and I thought, you know what, if I'm gonna watch this thing, I'm gonna go all out. So I rented the unrated version on Amazon and sat through it. And Angie and I both, my wife watched it with me, and we were both watching this thing like, holy shit, because I mean, when that movie gets rolling, it's rolling, and it's moving, and it is nonstop. I mean, it's like the original, once that thing got rolling, man, it was nonstop. And that sequel, that was pretty amazing. Now, what did you think, Jared, of the Evil Dead Rise?
I was entertained by it. And I like some of the effects in it too, but it felt a little out of place as far as the Evil Dead world is concerned, because just taking it out of the cabin seemed kind of weird to me, but I get what they're trying to do with it, and I can take it at face value.
Yeah.
Nothing severely against it, I guess.
Yeah, if you take out the Evil Dead connection and just watch it, as a film, it's all right. It's not bad. But it does have this, I don't know if to call it like familiar, but it sort of uses the same tropes as almost all the current sort of what I would call Hollywood horror. All these sort of new horror films, they're all the same in that way, that I would watch them, I would go, yeah, that was all right, that was entertaining, and I would pretty much forget them as soon as I'm done. They're all forgettable. There's nothing memorable about them, that would get me thinking about what a great film those films were. A lot of the the Blumhouse stuff, it's just that, it's all a little bit plasticky to me.
I gotta ask you, since you're over in Australia and it's kind of an Australian film, did you watch Talk to Me yet?
Which one?
Talk to Me. Have you
Not
heard
yet.
of
that? Yeah, but I haven't seen it yet.
Curious to see what you think of that one when you get to
it. Yeah. I heard it's coming to Netflix soon.
Yep.
So once it gets on Netflix, I'll definitely be all over that.
That's been on my list.
Mostly good things.
I haven't watched it.
I have no idea what the story is about, because I don't want to know. So I haven't watched, trailers or read about it or anything like that. I only heard from people who have seen it, and mostly good, good things. But I'll reserve judgment for once I see it. I don't tend to be swayed by public opinion.
I'm not going to overhype nothing for you. I just want you to watch it.
Horror is a funny thing because it kind of runs the gamut. There's just so many different styles of horror. Even I say, The Thing, I think, is the number one horror film of all time, and people say it's not horror, that's sci-fi, and I'm like, no, it's horror sci-fi, but it's horror. But and I say, like, the second best horror film of all time is The Exorcist. I just think sort of almost no competition. And people go, do you really think these are the best films? And I say yes. And they say, are they your favorites? And I say, not necessarily. I love both films, but as far as favorite goes, it's about how film makes you feel. And to me, a film like Predator is horror. It's a monster.
Jaws.
It's a monster thing.
Sci-fi.
Yeah,
sci-fi
Jaws
horror.
is up there. Yeah, but I would say if we're classifying Predator as horror, which I probably would, it's probably my favorite horror film of all time. I don't think it's the best necessarily out of all of those types of classic horror films, but it's definitely my favorite. I love that film to death. I can watch it over and over and over and over. And like you say, Jaws is up there, and Alien and Aliens both in there, and there's just a lot of different types of horror. Hereditary is one of my favorite horror films of all time.
And a lot of people, if you ask anybody about Hereditary, they'll sit there, oh my God, what a boring piece of shit that was. It's like, okay.
Yeah. It's
sure.
Yeah. Again, it's to do with taste. And the Evil Dead sequel, as you put it, the 2013 version, when people ask me about, and I'm not a big fan of gory horror as well, a lot of the time. It has to still be quality. So that 2013 version, when people ask me about what do you think the goriest film you've ever seen, that one pops to mind. I don't think it's necessarily the goriest, but it's freaking gory. And and I love that film. I love it. I would say it's somewhere in my top probably 20 to 50 horror films of all time. I love that film. And of course, we're forgetting about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, the best of those by far.
Don't make me talk about the latest version.
We did that. We did a review on this show. I think for our first episode.
That was our first episode. Absolutely our first episode. And I just remember saying, I just remember saying, and we're going to talk about the absolute shit show that is the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre film.
There's one thing that I hate about film in general, but it happens in a lot of horror films. I hate feeling like the filmmaker, whoever, is insulting my intelligence. And that's what I feel, especially with that Texas Chainsaw and, the recent one, and with a lot of horror films. I just watch it and I go, fucking kidding me? No. This does not work as a story. This is not what people do. This is not what people say. This is not how people react, And it's like today, a lot of horror films are mostly concerned with best kills and gore and, jump scares, but not so much with the story. And if you don't have a story, I don't think you have.
They try to develop the characters anymore. I mean, there's a handful of films that'll take the time to do that, but the popular ones don't even do that.
And that's what got me with with the book, Jared. When I first read the stories, it wasn't just that I could actually picture the kills and the action and what happens. It got me wondering what's going to happen next, which characters are going to survive, what's going to happen to them, how the story is going to unfold. And yeah, that's why I think also one of the reasons where I straight away saw this could be a great film. You know, most horror today, I'm like, I want to switch off at some stage during watching a film. And a lot of the recent stuff, you know, some films that you guys might like, I didn't like, you know, like they say Annabelle. I thought it was one of the crappiest films I've ever seen. And then, you know, some of the, what's it called? The James Wan films.
Conjuring.
It is.
The Conjuring is one. Like, you know, I love the first Conjuring. I thought it was great. After that, but what's the other one? There's also another franchise.
Insidious.
Insidious. I did not like any of them.
Well, you would have really have hated the newest one then. I spent money. Well, it's funny because I really like the original. I like the first four, and I like jump scares. A lot of people take issue with that, but I love getting the shit scared out of me like that. And Angie and I, you know, they talked about the fifth one, and the guy that's in it's going to direct it, and Patrick Wilson. And we went and saw it, and it was so fucking boring. Angie leaned over to me about a half hour into it, and she goes, "Is this going to get any better?" And I looked at her, and I'm like, "I don't know." And she goes, "This is really boring. It's not."
Now I'm thinking I might like it.
All, huh?
No, I think I might like it now.
No, dude. I don't know. Did you see it, Jared?
Which one is it?
Yeah, it was
Red Door.
I agree 100% with you, Todd. I did not. I mean, pretty much just a rehash of what we've already seen, but it took an hour to get there, if that.
And
at least
and,
that.
and I like Patrick Wilson, and I like Vera Farmiga. I think they're both fantastic. But those films, yeah.
One of my favorite films to come out just not too long ago here is I loved Mother with Jennifer Lawrence and I can't think of his name.
The Aronofsky film?
Yep. Man, I love that movie.
What is it? Okay.
Javier Bardem.
Yes, there you go.
What is it about it that you liked so much? Because I've tried to watch it 3 different times, and I watched it all the way through the first time, and then I tried to watch it 2 more times since, and I own it. I mean, I bought the fucking thing, and I don't know what it is. I mean, what for you makes that movie such a great film?
The first thing was about a third of the way through it, I caught on to what was going on. So I felt clever watching it. Okay. And then I just liked the madness in it. It was just, the movie was just complete madness. And I just thought they executed it really well. He executed that film very well.
Would you call it a horror film?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Yeah.
It was something I'd never hadn't quite seen before, and I like the originality to it. And it was a deep film if you caught on to what he was actually going for and what it was about.
Yeah, maybe it went over my head. I mean, obviously, I'll just say it probably went over my head.
It's one of those films. It's a little bit of an acquired taste. I love his work, but I really like this film as well. But it's not probably in my top 3 films of his.
Mm.
You know, so he's made some really, really great stuff and some really underrated stuff and some stuff that sort of has grown on me more over time. And I think that might be one that will grow on me more, even though I liked it. It was the same with The Fountain. I watched that the first time. I thought, wow, I like it. It's not up there with my favorites of his, but I really like it. And over time, I'm liking it more. So yeah.
I've yet to see that one.
Had you guys seen God, I can't believe I can't remember the name of it now. It was actually really good. My daughter told us to watch it. It's got the girl from Midsommar in it, and it's God, what is it? Something, my darling.
Oh, I know what you mean. I haven't seen it yet.
Talking about.
Yeah, I don't remember the name either, but
I watched it. We watched it on Netflix. Brienne, my youngest daughter, is a horror movie nut, and she told us that we needed to watch this movie, and we watched it, and I was pretty blown away by how good it was, because it kept you guessing and guessing.
Is that one horror or thriller?
You know, it's hard to classify because it's got a sprinkling of everything in it.
There's one movie that comes to mind, and I'm not going to say it because it might give stuff away. There's one movie though that I can totally relate it to.
Go ahead.
Just out of the blue, but I don't know if he hasn't seen it. I want to get it away.
Which one?
Stepford Wives.
Yes.
Kind of gave me that vibe for that.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. You know which movie I'm talking about then.
I've seen it. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
I saw the trailer for that. What's the name of it? Something, My Darling.
Don't Worry, Darling.
Something
Yeah.
like
I think that's.
I saw the trailer, and when it came on, I saw maybe 10 seconds, and I quickly muted it because I didn't want to know what it's about. I left the TV on, but I muted the sound because I hate seeing trailers because usually they give away too much. But even just from a little bit of the visuals, I got a vibe of Stepford.
It's Don't Worry, Darling.
Yeah. Don't worry, darling. Yeah.
But, and it's funny because if you look at the poster for the thing, it looks like it's a romantic film, a romantic drama.
Yeah.
And it's anything but. So
I think that's why I wasn't sure, but yeah. But I have to say, when it comes to horror and even thrillers these days, there's better stuff on streaming platforms than there is that goes out to cinema. Even though there's been some cinematic success of late for some films, some horror films.
Exorcist Believer. we knew Exorcist Believer was going to get cocked up just because of who was directing it.
I haven't seen it, and I'll check it out when it's on streaming. I'll check it out, but again, I'm not going to run to see it.
Have you seen that one, Jared?
No, that one I passed on because of what I heard about it. Yeah, so I'll give it my own fair opinion, but I said I'm not going to run out to the theater to watch it either. I'll wait for it to stream.
Yeah, I almost went to the theater. We went and saw The Exorcist in the theater when they released it last week, October 4th. And it was really funny because my youngest daughter, my wife and myself went to see it. And
you're talking about the original.
The original, yeah. We went to see the original, and we got done, and we got in the car, and both Angie and Brienne, they were both going, I don't remember that movie being that fucking scary. And I'm like, well, I think it's different when you're sitting at home, when you can pause it and get up. I mean, when you're forced to sit and watch it, and you can't be on your phone and you can't do anything else except watch the movie, yeah, it's going to be fucking scary. I mean, I saw the thing on a when it was on CBS for the first time when it came out on regular television. So I saw the watered down version of it, and it still scared the crap out of me. And obviously I've seen them multiple times since then, but even going back into the theater, the in your face on the big screen kind of thing, because I had kind of given up on the theater experience just because I literally have one in my house. And but then going back to see that, I was like, wow, yeah, that movie is way fucking scarier in the theater than it was, when I watched it, when I've watched it the multiple times I've seen it at home. And it was just one of those things. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I have a really hard time with a lot of the newer horror movies myself, and obviously we've been talking about that. But Jared, what have you kind of seen as of late that you're kind of like, oh God, I mean, has there been any just a couple, name a couple that you rolled your eyes at, and then maybe a couple that you went, oh, okay. That worked out.
It's even funny that you're asking Jared this question, because I think between the three of us, we're very different in our approach to new horror. I think Jared wants to like new horror films when he watches them. Me, I'm very much middle of the way impartial. And Todd, I think you want to hate them. So when they surprise you positively,
I am just like, please do something good.
Yeah.
I don't want to hate them at all.
But what I mean is, I think it's more your expectation. I think has become, oh, this is going to be shit, Well, I try to put it away, and Jared's the other way. He's like more optimistic about films. So when Jared says he doesn't like something, I'm like, oh, okay, I don't think I'm going to watch that.
Give me a couple.
Black Demon was atrocious. I was so mad because I was really hoping that was going to be good.
Yeah, me too.
I haven't seen it.
Man, there's been so many I've plowed through here.
One that comes to mind, Fantasy Island.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
That was so bad. I watched it. Oh.
I rewatch Old. I liked it better the second time I watched it.
The Shyamalan film?
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd classify that one as horror, but it's definitely like a supernatural thriller, I guess, in a way. Not even
exactly. A couple off the top of my head that I know I really enjoyed the hell out of was Totally Killer.
Really?
I thought that was a blast. I don't know. Did you see that one?
No, I haven't seen it. I've been seeing people post about it, and JoeBlow.com just did something on it here not too long ago, and I haven't watched that yet, but I'm gonna steer myself towards that one.
Have you seen Old, Todd? Have you seen Old?
You know what? Brienne is kind of my conduit to watch this or don't watch this.
You're tested.
And she came back because I was kind of excited to see it. And she came back to me and she goes, yeah, no, don't waste your time. She's pretty good on horror movies. There's only been like one or two that she's told me not to watch that I watched and went, okay, that wasn't that bad, Brienne. And she's like, oh, okay, whatever.
But you should probably check it out.
She's usually pretty spot on, but I mean, I'll take your guys' advice. I mean, you haven't been wrong yet.
I'm in the middle.
Yeah.
I think we should, or everybody who's a fan of any one of his films or whatever, should watch all of Shyamalan's films. I think some of them are good, some are not very good. Some of them are actually great, and some of them are pretty disappointing. Old is one of those movies that is probably sitting somewhere in the middle, towards the bottom, I guess. But I did like it, but it has too many plot holes, and they're massive.
Yeah, there's a few of those.
Well, you said you watched it once, Jared, and then went back and you liked it better the second time. What was it that made you like it better the second time?
Because I didn't have the expectations going into it. I kind of knew what I was watching. I was like, I remember watching this, and I really, really wanted to like it. I didn't like it, and then might have been my kid wanted to watch it, and I was like, I'll give it another shot. And I went into it like really underwhelmed, and came out feeling fairly satisfied. So I guess it was all right.
Isn't so bad.
Shyamalan is a great filmmaker. The problem is some of his films, I feel like I watch them and I think, oh, he went in unprepared. Like the script didn't have enough drafts. He didn't direct his actors enough, or didn't know how to sometimes. Like The Happening is a good example. Fantastic premise.
Yeah.
Just poor execution.
The movie started off really good, and then after about 25 minutes into it, it just went.
Yeah, some things which I would describe as plot holes, but it's more about certain people behave in a way that you would just go, "What? Why?"
Yeah.
Why would they go and do that? That makes no sense. But yeah, stuff like that, and the acting in it was pretty horrible, even by actors I really like.
Yeah.
Like, say, even John Leguizamo. There were some scenes where I thought, who directed that? I don't even blame the actors. A lot of people say Mark Wahlberg's a terrible actor. I disagree. He's not good in that one, but I don't think anyone is. But with Old, it's slightly different. It's more to do with the script and some strange choices that he's made in that one.
Yeah.
But have you guys seen The Visit?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See, I think that's one of Shyamalan's best, and that's his might have been his lowest budget film, as far as after the two big ones that he made.
Right.
He sort of went back to like a lowish budget. I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, I never seen it coming either. It kind of led me on a red herring for a long time.
That was.
I saw it coming. I saw it coming, and I still liked it.
Yeah. See, I'm with Jared, man. It was one of those things that I was watching that, and I was like, "Get the fuck out of here! Seriously."
I watched it. I watched it with a friend, and I actually, I think it was about maybe halfway through the film, maybe a little bit before. I actually wrote it down on a piece of paper, and I left it on the coffee table, and I said, "Don't look at this until after the movie." And after the movie, they open it up, and it's like, "Oh shit, you picked it! You picked it early." I'm like, "Yeah, I saw the signs," but I still really enjoyed the way it unfolded and the way that twist came about at the end. And I think it's one of his best films, probably in his top 4 or 5. Look, Unbreakable, I think, is his best, and it's one of my favorite films. Just love that.
See, and I didn't like that. I did not like Unbreakable. I mean, I loved Signs, and Sixth Sense, obviously, but what was the other one? The Amish.
Which one you mean?
The Village.
Yeah. That was another
one.
Gets
The Village gets a lot of hate, but I liked it.
I liked that, man. I liked that a lot. That was another one. I didn't see coming.
The Village is one that I didn't pick until very late, even as an option.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that one, as far as the twist, kind of cheated a little bit, because it gave you a certain world that you kind of have to go along with if you're going to follow the film. You can't pick something that's almost completely outside the film. But with Sixth Sense, I was impressed with that film because only about 3/4 of the way through the film did I pick it. I was like, oh, damn, how did I not see that? And I was like, I was, while watching the film, I was going back in my head, earlier scenes, trying to work out, could this be right? Could that? No. And I was like going back and forth in my own head nah, that can't be right. Yes, it is. No, it's not. And then I was like, okay, it is. And then I watched the rest of it. I was like, okay, it is. But shit, that was good.
Yeah. Yep,
But
exactly.
he's very good at that. He creates that sort of tension
Yeah.
very well.
That Sixth Sense never had a chance for me because it was one of those instances. This happened to me twice now, where I've actually got my ticket for the theater to go see a movie a little too damn early, going to the theater, not paying attention, and then realize it's the ass end of the movie playing, and I just spoiled the whole freaking movie for myself. It's like, oh, I'm late, and then I realize I'm early, and it's the end of the movie. I'm like, son of a
Well
bitch.
done, Jared. Good one.
Yeah,
Wow.
so I knew that one before I even seen the movie, how that one ended.
I had to stay away from people because I didn't get to see it in the theater. So when everybody would talk about it, luckily we didn't have internet yet at that point, and people were like, "Oh my God, you got to go." Okay, shh, stop talking, be quiet, shh, be quiet. And so when it came out on video, I went and rented it, and just sat there and was like, it was, I really like that. I love that film.
I'm a massive hater of spoilers. People who just blurt shit out on social media or otherwise in person. I'm like, oh, shut up.
Stop talking. Stop talking.
So Jared, when we finally make Terror Bay, you can't go into the screening to watch the end. You'll spoil it for yourself. You need to know how things unfold.
Sure that he doesn't walk in at the ending. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the end of our conversation here with Mr. Jared Johnson. Jared, why don't you tell people where they can find the book, find you on social media? So tell us all those juicy details there.
Oh, Terror Bay is available, softcover, hardcover, at Amazon.com or directly through me. I can get you a signed copy if you want a signed one.
Mine signed.
They are perfect. I will be holding a contest. Well, it's more of a drawing, not really a contest. Drawing on October 30th for anyone who buys a copy, reads it, and leaves a review on Amazon. Let me know when you have. I'll put you in the drawing. It's going to be for a signed copy of the second edition with the title on the hardcover. And and I also have a copy of Stephen King's Holly, brand new, going out, and $30 gift card for Domino's Pizza. All free. Just gotta leave a review. But yeah, most of my you can find me on Diehard Horror on Facebook, my Indie Productions page, and right on Facebook. I don't deal with much other social media, so.
But yeah, we'll add links in the description.
Yep.
So yeah,
they will all be down there.
Yeah, and I'll be doing locally. I'll be doing a signing at our local haunted house down at the Meadowbrook Arena. Anybody local that watches this, I'll be down there on October 21st, Saturday. I'll be there from 7 to 11 signing.
So he's just made it so I have to get this thing edited now quickly. All right. Well, you know what, Jared, we really appreciate your time and appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us and just talking about your book and talking horror movies and whatnot. Itai, why don't you tell everybody out there where they can find us?
Well, they can find us anywhere they look for us. We are on Facebook, on Instagram, on Indie Productions, of course. So yeah. Watch, share, like, subscribe. talk to us. We are everywhere.
Yes. And thank you again, everybody, for joining us here on this episode of the Straight Shooter Show. It's good to be back. It was nice to come back here and get another episode in the can. So thanks, everybody, for watching. We will see you all next time right here on the Straight Shooter Show.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for having me.